Um, and oh, thank you, Nancy.
If I don't do it now, I'm afraid we'll forget.
Again, my name is Cristina Banda, and Nancy's here with me as well. Thank you again for joining us this morning. Today, we will be discussing how to take care of yourself. And I think this is really important right now that we are getting close to the holiday season. Some of you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with work. With personal things, with family things going on. So I think this is a good time to present this presentation so that you can take something out of it and take care of yourself because self-care is important. You need to take care of yourself in order for you to keep going and keep, giving back and working in the profession that you all work in, which is extremely important. So today's presentation is Caring for the Caregiver, Practical Self-Care for Helping Professionals. Again, thank you for joining me this morning. Let's see. Oh, here we are. We are a statewide funded program. We are funded by the Division of Behavioral Health and Recovery. Our mission is to facilitate family engagement across various family and community services within the Illinois substance use disorder treatment continuum. So if this is your first time, we do a lot at the Illinois Family Resource Center. If it's your first time joining us and you didn't know who we are, what we do not do direct service, but we do offer workshops. We offer both in-person and virtual workshops. We offer translation services for organizations or agencies that need, for example, flyers translated into Spanish. I can help with that. Our trainings are free, our webinars are free. We offer them both in Spanish and English. We offer tips on family engagement strategies. We offer technical assistance. We offer resources for families. We attend a lot of conferences, a lot of tabling events with information on substance use disorders, on mental health, on grief, how to help children navigate grief if they've lost someone due to substance use disorders. Again, like I said, we offer translation services. So if you need any of our services, please feel free to reach out. I will share my email again at the end of the presentation. Again, free. I like to say our services are free. Our workshops are free. You get free CEUs. You will be getting CEUs for this presentation. Give us about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, you should be getting the CEUs along with your CEU certificate, along with the copy of the presentation. If we do not get through the whole presentation, you will get the slides so that you can go through it if you wanted to go through the rest of the presentation. So some of the objectives that we will cover today, we'll recognize signs of burnout and compassion fatigue. We'll identify some barriers to self-care, and we'll explore tools for resilience and having a work-life balance, which I think is really important. Again, in the field that we are all in, you need to have that balance so that you can take care of yourself. So before we dive into the content, I want you to put in the chat what in one word, what does self-care mean to you? In one word, what does self-care mean to you? Put it in the chat, please. Rest, balance, doing something not work related that you enjoy, health, yoga. It's important. Thank you. Health, I see a lot of relax, love. Um, Beneficial, yes. We all need self-care. And it should be something that prioritize, just like we prioritize attending a meeting, and we put that on our calendar, right? We should also be prioritizing our self-care, because again, it's important. We need to take care of ourselves. We can't continue to give and to serve others if our cup is empty or it's getting empty. So we need to find ways to refill our cup and to take care of ourselves. Thank you. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you so much. So, when helpers don't practice self care, it impacts not only their health, but also their clients, families, and teams. So, again, we need to take care of ourselves. For example, me, I noticed that, so I was a teacher before coming to work for the Illinois Family Resource Center. I taught for about 10 years. I taught eighth graders. It became it became really stressful for me because I didn't have the support from administration. I really didn't have a good team to work with when I was in the classroom. It wasn't really it wasn't really the students that were stressing me out. It was more the adults that I was working with. I didn't have a good team. I lacked the support. So what I noticed, it was impacting my health. I was getting migraines. I suffered from migraines and they would last days and it was bad. And so then I would get a migraine that would last for days. I would come home and I didn't want to interact with my kids. I didn't want to cook dinner. I didn't want to do anything at home because I just wanted to be locked up in my room with, the lights off, door closed because the migraine was really bad. So it impacted my health. It impacted my family because I was neglecting my family because of the migraine that I was having. And then it was impacting my work because I would call off work because the migraine was just really bad. And I started to lose my hair. So it was impacting me. So what I decided to do was take a break. I know not all of us can do that. But I took a break from teaching after the pandemic. I went back, and then it was after that I decided that I needed to take a break because I needed to take care of myself. And I'm happy to report that ever since then, I haven't had any migraines. I do get a headache here and there, but nothing compared to how I was getting migraines back when I was teaching. So I think that my health improved. I'm not losing my hair anymore. I am happy. I spend time with my family. I don't feel bad for not spending time with them. So I took care of myself. I took a step back. And like I said, not all of us can do that. So it's important to learn some strategies to take care of ourselves if we can't step away from what we do. I love teaching. I loved what I do. I loved it. I loved when I was teaching, but it was impacting me. So even though I loved it, I needed to realize that, hey, like it's impacting me. I need to take a step back. And I'm not saying that I'll never go back, but for right now, I'm happy where I am. My health is good. I'm not stressed, as much as I was when I was teaching. So again, it's important to see what's stressing us and what's causing that burnout so that we can take care of ourselves. So let's talk about some of the trauma, some of the things that impact our work that cause that stress, and is the need for us to take care of ourselves. So vicarious trauma, this is an emotional, mental, and physical fatigue that arises from extended exposure to work-related stressors. Some of you might have this. You sit with clients, you talk to clients, you take what they say and you sometimes you internalize it. You can't help but worry about them and want to help them. So sometimes it impacts your personal life. You go home and you can't rest because you're thinking of your clients? How can you help them? How can you do more to help them? So you're exposed to this on a daily basis, and you don't have enough time to recover. You work, you go home, you do what you have to do at home, your responsibilities at home, and then you report back to work the next day. And then you keep doing it, and you really don't have a lot of time to take that break, take that breather, and take care of yourself. Some of us might feel guilty for taking a day off of work. So it's contributing, right? We're not resting, we're not taking care of ourselves because we don't want to call off, because it might be that, if we call off, what's going to happen to the clients? Who's going to meet with them? They need me. The people that I serve need me. I need to be there for them. But you need to think about that. You need to be there for yourself too. You need to be there for your family. You need to take care of yourself. Then there's a burnout. This is an emotional and psychological impact on helping professionals exposed to others' trauma. So burnout is when you're feeling emotionally depleted, drained. Burnout can result after a period of long-term work-related stress. You feel like there's really no other, like you're tired. You don't know what else to do. The thing about burnout is that it's a process that usually occurs sequentially. So you can catch things before you get to that final stage where it's like I'm done. So again, it's signs that you can notice in your work, in your personal life, in yourself, that you can realize like, hey, this is I need to say, I need to step back. I need to take care of myself, and then I can come back and do this again. Then there's compassion fatigue, and this is the emotional and physical exhaustion. And it affects helping professionals due to prolonged exposure to other suffering. And again, most of us here, if not all of us here on this call, are helping professionals. We deal with other people's trauma on a daily basis. We try to help them. We want to help them. But remember that we need to help ourselves as well. And we need to take care of ourselves so that we can continue helping others. So what are some of the barriers that we face when it comes to self-care? High caseloads and chronic stress. That contributes to the burnout. It contributes to having compassion fatigue. It contributes to having to suffering vicarious trauma. You have a big number of clients that you have to serve, right? That you see. Limited recovery time. I talked about that. You really don't have a lot of time to process things and to rest and reset. You kind of have to keep doing it, constantly, nonstop. Constant exposure to trauma stories, and continuous emotional demands from your professional life, from your clients, from your family, from the community. You have these demands that you have to meet, and you're just one person. You are one person, and you might feel like, what else am I supposed to do? You feel like you're being torn into a million pieces because a lot of people need you. But again, you need to take care of yourself. Some of the symptoms that you might see in yourself or in others in your work environment, and how it impacts your work, the quality of work that you do and that others do. Emotional exhaustion. You might be irritable, right? Things, might just trigger you to respond a certain way because you're just tired. You are tired. You're not resting. You're stressed. You might have sleep issues. You might not be sleeping at home because, you're worried about your work responsibilities. Headaches are very common when people are stressed. Decreased focus. You might find yourself checking out, at work. You might be at work, but you're not you physically you're at work, but mentally you are somewhere else because you're exhausted. Lower quality of care. You're not doing your best at work. You might be doing just the minimum just to get by, just to continue having a job, right? But you might not feel like you did when you first started, right? You might not feel so energized and so excited and happy to go to work. I remember when I first started teaching, I was new, so I was excited. I wanted to do that. I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to teach kids. I wanted to make a difference. But then I met older teachers who had been in the field for years, who were just there, just kind of, it's sad to say, but they were just there for the paycheck. They didn't care about the students. They didn't care about you know the rest of the teachers. They didn't care about the community. They were just there to just for the paycheck, right? And so they were mean. They were mean to the kids. They were mean to other teachers. They were grumpy. And it was when they would have a chance to talk and express themselves, they would say, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the way things are in the system. I'm tired of, I can't change things, or whatever the case was. But they were tired, so they were not performing the way that they should. They weren't excited to go to work. They weren't excited to see the kids. They weren't excited to say good morning. They would say, like, why say good morning? Or why are you smiling? Those were some of the things that I heard in the hallways. And so when you're at work and you are telling other people, why are you smiling? Or, why are you, excited? Then that's a sign. That's a sign that you are, reaching your point where, like, take care of yourself. If you start taking care of yourself, you will feel that sense of like joy, and you're so happy and excited to go to work because you have that balance. You've created that balance to take care of yourself, take care of your family, other responsibilities, and still perform your best at work. But if you don't have that balance, if you don't create that balance, if you don't take time to take care of yourself and do something that you like for yourself, that you enjoy, that you find joy in, then you start losing yourself in that. And your clients start seeing it, your coworkers start seeing it, because it's like a domino effect. So please take care of yourselves. Again, it's the holiday season. Holidays are coming up. There's a lot of things that impact, people's stress levels. So if you find yourself that you are, you're good, you feel like you're not stressed, help others. Maybe someone's just looking for, one of your coworkers might be looking for someone just to talk to make them feel a little better. So be there for the person, and be there for yourself. And increased turnover. People start leaving the field, because they're unhappy. They feel like they've given it their all, and they leave. And then there's a shortage of people in the field, right? And that again it's increasing the caseloads for those of us who are still in the field. So again, it's a domino effect. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's help take care of our coworkers. If you are in a leadership position, be there for your staff so that you retain your staff and they're happy to be there. They're happy to go to work. They're happy to see their clients. So I want you in the chat to share, if you feel comfortable, what's one sign that tells you you're reaching burnout? What sign that tells you that you're reaching burnout? For me, yeah, I was gonna say, if I get grumpy. For me, I get grumpy, crabby, constant fatigue. You're always tired, not engaging as much, shorter patience, not able to sleep at night, short with clients, I like these responses, and I'm happy to see that some of you, you know what your kind of your limit is. Dreading waking up every morning. Everything irritates me. Yes, dreading like, oh, I have to get up this morning. I have to go to work. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to go to work, but you know, I have to go. There's bills, things I have to pay. I have to see my clients. I have meetings that day. Whatever the case is, like you have to show up to go to work. And again, that goes back to what I was saying about you don't have enough recovery time. You don't have enough rest time. Um, in some agencies, some organizations, like people are made to feel that they feel bad for taking a day off, or they get reprimanded for taking a day off. And sometimes you need that, right? It could be you're sick, you have things to take care of, but a lot of times people don't want to take their day off because again, responsibilities at work, or they feel bad for taking the day off. But take care of yourself. My mom would always tell me work will always be there. If something happens to you because you neglected your health, your family is the one that's going to miss you, right? My mom would always say you're easily replaceable at work, because if something happens to you because of the stress that you're going through at work, they can replace you. Your kids, your husband, they're the ones that are going to miss you. So again, take care of yourself. Take a step back. If you need that day off to take care of yourself, to, go do something that you enjoy, do it. Do it, because you are in a profession that needs a lot of taking care of yourself, because you take care of others every day on a daily basis. Thank you for those who participated in the chat. Thank you so much. So as I was saying about the high caseloads, right, and people leaving the profession, leaving the field, according to the Health Resources and Service Administration, they projected that by the year 2030, there will be a national shortage of 12,530 adult psychiatrists and 11,530 substance use disorder counselors. And this is coming from the Health Resources and Services Administration. So if people are leaving the field, those of you who are still who stay in the field are going to have higher caseloads. If you think that you have high caseloads now, more people are continuing to leave the field. So take care of yourself. This is a time for you to focus on you, take care of you, and I'm going to keep repeating that because it's really important to take care of yourself. Do what you have to do to take care of yourself. So how can we recover and build resilience? By again taking care of ourselves, right? And these are some things that we can do. So practice mindfulness and reflection. Reframe setbacks as learning. If you have if something didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, take it as a learning experience. Don't dwell on it too much, because again, that's causing you stress. Let it go. And if it's something that you can try again, or try something different, try something different. Be open to learning, be open to change. Because if we close ourselves off to, well, it's my way or the highway, and if it doesn't go your way, you're creating unnecessary stress for yourself. Because it's like, oh gosh, what am I going to do now? It didn't go my way. This is what I had planned. Let it go and try again, right? My mom would always give me advice, and she knows that I use her advice in my presentations. She would also tell me, everything has a solution except death. So if you try something and it didn't go the way you wanted to, try again, do something different. If you did something and you felt like it caused you a lot of stress, and it's, and it's something you can do and do it in a simpler way where it doesn't cause you so much stress, do it. I mean, get some help. A lot of times, myself included, I don't like asking for help. So if my plate is full and I am stretching myself out in a million ways, I would rather do that than ask people for help. And I do that because I know that people are busy themselves, right? They have other things to do, and I'd rather not bother them, or I'd rather not, like have them take time out of their schedule to help me. So I'll do it myself. Even though I'm like stretched thin, I will do it. But I've learned, I'm slowly learning to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Sometimes I have adult kids at home. And before, I would do, yes, I would tell them to help around the house, but I would mainly do everything because either they didn't clean right and, or they didn't clean the way that I thought it was clean. And so I've learned to let that go. That's unnecessary stress. Like if I'm asking them to clean and they clean, then, it's clean. It's just not to my standards. I'm learning to let it go. It takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of self learning, but it's something that we need to do. Like let things go. If they're not really, if it's not like a life or death situation, and we can let things go, and learn from things, learn from our mistakes. Let's do that because that's helping us build resilience. Let's build strong connections with our coworkers, with our families, because we need other people, right? We need the help from others sometimes. And so building those strong connections, having someone that you can talk to, having someone that you can go when you're having a rough day, and you can talk to that person and you can feel better after talking to them. It's important to have those connections. It's important to adapt to new things, recover and grow. That's what's going to help us build that resilience and be resilient. And that in turn is going to help us be less stressed. So resilience through self-care, again, means viewing setbacks as learning opportunities. Don't dwell on something. And I'm repeating this because in our field, I feel sometimes we dwell on things a little bit longer than we should, because it's like, that's the way it should have gone and it didn't go that way. Or, I'm giving this advice to this client or these resources to this client, and they're not taking it how I thought they would take it, and you start dwelling on it, or you start stressing about it. Let it go. Maybe that wasn't for them. Try something different with them, or give them different resources. Ask for help. Talk to your coworkers like, hey, I'm having this, like difficulty with this client or with this family. Like I've tried this and that, and it doesn't seem to be working. What do you think? And that's where those strong connections and asking for help come into play. Strong relationships with family members. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes we neglect our family because of work responsibilities. So go back to building those strong relationships, because it's going to help you. And it just helps you share the load, so that you don't feel so burned out sometimes. So what does self-care look like? Some of us might have really good ideas for self-care. Some of us might have a plan that we follow and that has helped us, which is great. Some of us might not know what to do for self-care. Some of us might not even like, self-care, what is that? So I am going to give you some ideas on self-care and how to take care of yourself. So self-care is an intentional action to protect your physical, emotional, and mental health. So I mentioned early on in the presentation how we prioritize meetings that we have for work. We prioritize, workshops. We write them down on our calendars so that we don't forget, so that we don't miss them. Set some time aside on your calendar for, whatever it is that your self-care looks like. If it's going out for a walk, if it's, during your lunchtime, go out for a walk. Put that in your calendar so that you know that you have to do that. And it helps to hold yourself accountable. A meeting's important, your self-care is important. Prioritize it. Write it down on your calendar. So physical self-care, getting enough sleep, eating healthy food, eating good, eating. Sometimes you're so overworked or so busy with work that you forget to eat. That's not healthy for you. You need food in your body. You need food in your system so that you can continue. That's our fuel to keep going. I know I'm guilty. Not eating very healthy because just fast food is so much, it's more convenient after a stressful day, after a day where I'm done. I just had a lot to do at work. Drive through fast food, it's just easier than to go home and cook dinner, and then I have to wash the dishes and I have to clean up the kitchen. So eating healthy, eating, if it's your lunchtime, take your lunch and eat. Um, that's taking care of yourself. That's taking care of your body. Exercising, set some time aside, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, go for a walk during your lunch, go for a walk. That helps you. That helps ground you as well. That fresh air that you breathe, just it helps you. It relaxes you. Emotional self-care can look like journaling, write things down, be thankful, words of affirmation. That can all be your emotional self-care. Social self-care, peer interaction. Go out with friends, talk to friends, call them, text them if you can. Keep that social interaction because that is your social self-care. You do not want to lose that because we as human beings, we need that social interaction. So take care of that social circle that you have. Spiritual self-care can look like time alone, meditating, journaling. Take some time to be by yourself. I actually did this with my kids over the weekend. My husband suggested that we do it. We sat in the living room for 15 minutes and we did nothing. We had no phones. The TV was not on. We had no distractions. Well, we tried to have no distractions. And we just like focused on our thoughts. We had the window open, the blinds open. So we were looking out the window. That gave me like a lot of time to just think about what I was going to do that day. Because I can't sit still. I have to always be doing something. So that was really challenging for me, the 15 minutes, but it was really helpful. I felt really good after that. So I suggest that take time for yourself, meditate, if it's in your room, wherever your safe space is, in your car. Sometimes you can just sit in your car before you go into work, just sit in your car and just take some time for yourself before your day gets started. Professional self-care looks like setting boundaries, learning, let yourself be open to learning, and reflecting. If something doesn't go well, reflect on it, and then, try it again, tackle it again later or the next day. Professional self-care, a little bit more about professional self-care. Set healthy boundaries, maintain realistic workloads, and take breaks when needed. Take your breaks, take your lunch break, so that you can recharge. That's your time to focus on you, to do what you have to do for yourself, and then it gives you a time to recharge. Manage stress. Use mindfulness techniques, breathing exercises, or again, brief movement breaks during the workday. If you are, prone to being at your desk most of the day, get up and walk around. Get up and go say hi to your neighbor in the next cubicle, or get up and go for a walk around the office. Go get some water. Seek support, ask for help, right? If you need help, if you feel like you are being or you're feeling overwhelmed with the caseloads or with a specific client, ask for help. Join support groups if your organization has those. I know sometimes we might say, oh, I don't have time to join a support group, or I don't want to do anything extra, but if it's to help you, I suggest you look into it. Engage in learning, pursue professional development to build confidence and growth. Sometimes attending different workshops, or taking up a class if you have the time, it kind of refuels that energy that you had for your field, for the passion that you had, and you feel better, you feel more prepared to tackle what you have to tackle. Reflect regularly. Take time to assess your needs, celebrate successes. A lot of times we dwell on the negatives, and there's a lot of positives that happen during our day, but we tend to focus on the negatives. So if it helps to write down the positive things that happen to you, during the day, once you're done with your day, you can take the time to write down three positive things that happened to me during the day, and you can start seeing that there are positives in your day. But I think it's just human nature that we focus a lot on the negatives. Foster that connection. Talk to your workers, talk to your coworkers, build those relationships, maintain them, because it's beneficial for you. Practicing self-care is important because it reduces stress and anxiety. It strengthens relationships, it increases energy and prevents burnout, and it boosts mental and emotional well-being. So again, really take care of yourself. Take the time to take care of yourself. It also means being patient and kind to yourself. A lot of times we're our worst critics. We are very harsh on ourselves. We want to be perfect. We want things to be perfect, but we need to remember that sometimes things do not come out as we planned. So be kind, be patient to yourself. Don't be so harsh on yourself. You are a helping professional. Sometimes it's okay for you to seek help and support. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Someone said this in the comments in the chat earlier. It's something that self-care is something that you enjoy doing. Something that you like, something that brings you joy, something that doesn't feel like, oh, I have to go to, I have to go to this 10-minute walk or take this 10-minute walk. Self-care is something that you want to do, something that you look forward to doing, brings you joy, brings you happiness. So find something that brings you that joy. If it's reading, if it's going to get your nails done, going for a walk, going to visit your parents or a friend, do it if it brings you joy. So now let's talk about some boundaries. Some healthy boundaries. So protect your emotional, physical, and mental well-being by setting these healthy boundaries at work, and sometimes too, even in your personal life, you need to set some boundaries. They help maintain a work-life balance and reduce stress. Saying no if you have a difficulty time, if you have a difficult time saying no, practice saying no. It's okay to say no. If you are being given more work than what you can handle at the moment, have that talk with your supervisor, with, the leaders in your organization. Practice saying no. Saying no is not a bad thing. If you say, if it's within the means, if it's something that you really can't do, if you're not doing it in a rude way, it's okay to say no. Communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully with, to others. Protect your boundaries by sticking to them. If your boundary is, I am not checking emails after 5 p.m., do not check work emails after 5 p.m. Stick to your boundaries. If you start sticking to them, they become part of your routine, and it's not so hard to keep up with them. Boundaries are bridges, not walls. You're building bridges to protect yourself. You're creating those boundaries to take care of yourself. You're not creating those boundaries to cause harm to others or to cause harm to yourself or to create more stress for yourself. You are just creating these boundaries, these healthy boundaries, so that you can take care of yourself. I said this earlier. Clinicians set high expectations for themselves. Like you want to help others. You want to sometimes resolve all the problems that your clients come in with, right? But again, you're doing that, but a lot of us neglect ourselves. And it's affecting our health. It's affecting our personal lives. It's affecting our families. So again, be kind to yourself. You're human. Yes, you are a helping professional, but you're human. You are allowed to take time for yourself. You are allowed to take a step back and focus on yourself and do something that you enjoy. You're allowed to take a day off. You're allowed to do things to take care of yourself. So don't be so harsh on yourself. Seek therapy if you need to. Sometimes helping professionals avoid seeking therapy themselves just because there might be a stigma. Well, you're a helping professional, you're in this field, like, you don't need help yourself, you're helping others, like you should be there to help others. So if you need it, go seek therapy. It's okay. It's for your mental health. Mental health is real. According to research, 60% of providers are reluctant to seek their own mental health support. That's a big number in this field, right? You're a helping professional, but sometimes we need help ourselves, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with seeking support, seeking therapy for ourselves, because again, it's to help us. And if we're helping ourselves, then we will be there for our clients and for the families that we see and for our own families. So seek that support if you need it. Some tips to avoid burnout. One is self-care. That's self-care. Take care of yourself. Do something that you want, that you enjoy, okay? If you are a manager, these are some self-care tips. So limit after hours communication. If you work from 9 to 5, work from 9 to 5, unless it's an extreme emergency that, someone needs you after hours. But if it's not an emergency, if it's something that can wait for the following day, let it wait for the following day. Limit your checking your emails. The phone is makes everything so accessible. I have my work email downloaded onto my phone. I have different apps for like my kids' school sometimes, and they send things at random times. And so that, like, if you are a person who is constantly checking your work email, and it helps for you to delete that app from your phone, delete it if you don't need it. If you are in a position where emails can wait for the following day, Let them wait for the following day, and stick to those boundaries. Debrief difficult cases with colleagues. Don't internalize that. There's others in your agency, in your organization that can help, that can offer, a different perspective on things. So seek that support. Celebrate small client progress. Again, don't dwell on the negatives. There's always positives. So focus on the positives and celebrate them. Um, if you're a recovery coach or a peer support specialist, I'm sorry about that. This little check mark here, I don't know what happened. It wasn't like that before, but I'm sorry that it looks like that. Schedule personal check-ins or supervision after intense sessions. Use affirmations or grounding exercises to separate your story from the client. That's really important, to ground yourself, so that when you are meeting with a client, that their story is not your story. And focus on that. And if you need to step away when you are in a session, and it's safe for you to kind of step away and take, I go get a drink of water, refill your coffee cup, just to take that breather. Do it if it's safe for you to do that, when you're meeting with a client. Oops, I think my presentation is frozen. I'm sorry about that. Okay, well, that is not moving on. Um, if you are, I'll continue with my presentation. If you are a community outreach worker or a prevention specialist, debrief after difficult outreach days. Again, with that support from others, you won't internalize that, and you won't just keep it to yourself. You can ask for suggestions, share ideas. Oh, here, now it moved. Create safety routines for field work. Oh, I do not know what happened. Let's share again. I'm sorry about that. The whole PowerPoint closed on me. Um,
I
let
didn't
me,
do anything.
I don't know what happened. The whole PowerPoint, closed. Let me open it back up.
It happens. It's Zoom.
Technology. I'm sorry, everyone. Let's see. While this is loading, I can continue. If you are a supervisor or in a leadership position, model vulnerability, and work-life balance. So lead by example so that your staff can also follow. Schedule reflective supervision and peer consultation. Check in with your staff, and sometimes it doesn't have to be just work business. Check in with them and see what is, how they're doing on a personal level. If you are in an administrative role, step away from your desk, reset. Use email-free focus times to reduce overload. Check your email, and then just if you check it in the morning, and then just step away from it. You don't have to constantly be checking your email. And then acknowledge your contribution to the team. You contribute good things to the team. Celebrate that. Again, don't dwell on what I didn't do, what I can't do. Focus on what you did do and that success, because that's going to help you feel better. Let's see. My computer is acting up. Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Technology, right? You could just never really rely on technology 100% because it always tends to act up when you most need it. My presentation just like disappeared from the computer. Let's see. It went into recovery mode. The even I think the computer needs some self-care. It needs some time to reset and to rest because it's probably on overload. Let's see. All right, I think it's coming back. There we go. Now let's get back to the slide. Thank you everyone for being so patient. Right, let's try this again. We have about 6 minutes left, so let's see if I can finish this in 6 minutes. Healthy systems support healthy staff. So again, if you are in that leadership position, you're a supervisor in your organization, support support your staff, promote self-care, promote your staff, encourage them to take care of themselves, encourage them to take their lunch when it's their lunchtime, encourage them to take their break when it's their break time. So if you are in that position, here are some tips that you can follow to help promote self-care in your organization. So provide your staff with reasonable working hours, if possible, right? Sometimes with the staff shortage, with people's schedules being thrown off, sometimes that's a little difficult to do, but if it's possible, please do it. Balance the intensity of work and ensure there is downtime. Celebrate the successes, the good things that are happening in your organization. Schedule regular meetings with your staff, check in on them, encourage them to seek help if they need it. Establish peer support or buddy systems. Have your staff partner up and have them meet sometime, maybe once a week or once a month and just catch up and check in on each other to see how they're doing. Implement regular team meetings, promote the importance of well-being, ensure that employees know that they are a valued team member, so celebrate them. Sometimes it's a simple thing as like, oh, thank you for doing that, or that was really good that that suggestion, just in some words of encouragement go a long way. So if you are in that position, please support your staff so that they're happy to go to work. They're happy to report to work on a daily basis and do the work the best that they can. This I love. This came from the quality of life website. So this you'll get this as a link once you get the presentation. You can print this out and put it on your next to your computer, on your desk, on your bulletin board if you have one. And it's just simple things that you can do on a daily basis to take care of yourself. Sometimes you might not have an idea of what to do. These are just quick things that you can do on a daily basis. It serve as a reminder. So you can print this out if you're for your staff. If you're in that leadership position, you can print it out for your staff, print it out and put it in the break room so that everybody sees it. And again, these are things that you can do on a daily basis that really don't take a lot of time and effort on your part. These are a lot of resources that I found. They're free resources out there. Some are in Spanish if you need to share with your clients or with yourself. A lot of free information. These are our links. Once you get the copy of the presentation, you can click on the links and it takes you straight to the website. These are the websites that I got my information from. The research that I found. This is the articles that I read to find that information. So again, these are links that you can click on and it takes you straight to the website. And that is all. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry about the technology glitch. Take care of yourself, prioritize your mental health, especially with the holidays coming up. Take care of yourself. Don't neglect your mental health. Don't neglect self-care because you need it. Your self-care isn't selfish. It's a professional responsibility. You need to be grounded. You need to be well rested to continue the work that you do. So please don't neglect yourself. If you need to reach out for more ideas or more tips on self-care, my email is on the screen. You can reach out to me, or even if you just need somebody to just vent to, I'm here for you. You can email me. And I can give you my phone number if you'd like. And you can send me just, I was in another training before I let you go. I was in another training where they recommended a ghost email. And that is just you write an email. If you're going through a tough time, you write an email. You can send it to yourself or send it to someone you trust. And the subject can be ghost email. And that person, you have that agreement with the person that if they get that email, it's just, they don't need to read it. They can just delete it. And it helps the person, kind of vent and just release that frustration in a safe way. And nobody reads that email. So if you would like to use that, I took that from another training, the ghost email, or you can send it to yourself and just delete that email. Sometimes it just helps to write things down or type things out and send it and forget about it. But I can be your person if you'd like to send me a ghost email, and just if you're going through a tough time, I can be that person if it helps you take care of yourself. So thank you so much for joining me and Nancy this morning. I hope you all have a great holiday season. Take care of yourselves, and you will get the CEUs within 2 weeks, along with a copy of the presentation. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.